months ago.
Welcome to the FGA Podcast. Here are your hosts, Skeet, Jericho, and Richard Longenhard. Welcome back. It is the FGA Podcast. I'm Skeet Jericho. He is Richard Longenhard, and we are finally back in studio, and we are so excited. Dick, how have you been? The FGA has just been phenomenal recently. The 2019 season was something to marvel. Just talk about it.
The only way I could be better than I am right now, Skeet, is if I was actually getting paid to do this. Mm-hmm. The FGA itself has never been better. The competition, the fierceness of that competition, and the amount of that competition. It's a lot of competition. What we're seeing is unprecedented. What the co-commissioners have been able to create, I don't think will be replicated across any sport in the world.
But I completely agree with you. You compare the Forgettable Golfers Association with the PGA. And the PGA, we've always said, it is the poor man's FGA. And that was just showcased even further in the 2019 season. You mentioned competition about 15 times, and I agree with you. Mm-hmm. The competition, the parity, absolutely phenomenal. 2019, a great year, and 2020 going to be better, even past the 2019 season. They've added members. They've added Brady Kachur. They're also looking at Braden Brown. We're hearing very soon, potentially even tonight. So the FGA continuing to expand, continuing to be better. So we can all wait to see where they take it and how it continues to grow. So I think now we can head into our 2019 season recap.
I'll speak to one thing you said here quick. Sorry, Skeet. I just want to speak to this because it is unsubstantiated that Braden Brown. I know we put this up on our Twitter, but. The rumor that Braden Brown is entering the FGA as a full-fledged member has been pushed a little bit too much by Shooter. Our sources confirm that fact. Mm-hmm. Braden Brown's getting into the FGA.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why. What happened?
Well, he made his debut at the FGA Challenge this past September, and I'll tell you right now, I talked to a few of the members, and they said he was just an absolutely wonderful guy to play with. He's a hell of a player, too. Played NCAA Division I golf at Arkansas State. The guy is just talented out the yin-yang. But he is a player that can also bring that great attitude that the FGA is always looking for, a great teammate, and just a really good human being as well. So I think everybody's really excited to see him finally become a member and play in his first major championship as well. Again, the FGA Challenge, not a major championship. It is the FGA's Ryder Cup style of event. And it was a massive success, way better than the Ryder Cup, that's for sure.
The thing with that is, and I will agree with every word you said, and I will add that Braden Brown has been actually the first participant on the FGA circuit, and I say participant because he is still an amateur, that has fully embraced the media element.
Yeah.
These events are a media blitz, let's be honest. The amount of journalists, reporters, and people in your face trying to learn every little detail about your life is unrivaled. And I've used that word twice now.
Too.
And exhausting. There's no way you can't be exhausted after going through the gauntlet that is the media runs. Braden Brown has fully embraced that, and it's good to see. And I wish other participants, including the members, stuck by his way of doing things.
And now we've talked about Braden Brown, but what's even more exciting for us is a man that was fully inducted officially into the FGA at the past winter meetings in December, Brady Kachur, who also made his debut on the FGA at that same FGA Challenge. He's our guest today on this podcast. We'll be talking to Brady soon, but another terrific individual, a great golfer, really very similar in character to Braden Brown. So the FGA doing a great job expanding and bringing in some real quality people.
And we saw him at the same event we saw Braden Brown at. We saw him at the FGA Challenge. That's important to note. And he passed every test that the coach commissioners were looking for, and the rest of the voting membership was looking for as well. Because let's not forget, this is no dictatorship. We'll speak to that a little bit later when he gets here, when he arrives onto our radio station here. Let's go backwards then. If we started at the FGA Challenge, maybe let's go backwards through the events.
So
switch it up a little bit. Let's go to the Crystal Ridge Open.
Yeah, so the Crystal Ridge Open was riveting. It was the first ever playoff on the FGA circuit. It went down between Connor Thompson and Joel Pickering. At that point of the playoff, Joel Pickering had already wrapped up the Crocodile Cup, his first ever. What a season it was for Pickering. We'll get into that a little later, but a playoff that went right down to the wire. Connor Thompson ended up being victorious in that one, but boy, the drama, the electrifying moments of that major championship. The other two players involved were two amateurs, two-time major champion Keith Thompson and Markion Amiot, both really struggled that day.
No kidding. But can you blame them? The course itself, the difficulty of the course combined with the outside factors that include longer distances than we're used to seeing on the FGA circuit. Let's be honest, the sidelines a little tight due to the mansions on the side of the course.
What a beautiful course.
How much you got to pay to live there?
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands at least.
Yes, maybe at most.
You would say at most.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
The course itself is in pristine condition, and that's not something to overlook because in years past they've struggled with getting up to speed due to situations out of their control, due to them being understaffed and other weather.
The Lakeview Classic then was the event preceding the Crystal Ridge Open, and what an event that was! It was the biggest field ever in FGA history, with six players. Keith Thompson, Markion Amiot, amateurs also participated in that event, and it was the first event ever to have the championship round which the co-commissioners brought into effect at the past winter meetings. And wow, was that ever good? What a grind to win the Lakeview Classic. The victorious team was Joel Pickering and the amateur Keith Thompson.
Due to a little bit of juggling having to be done by the co-commissioners at the end there when we had a withdrawal due to injury, and Pickering won a playoff against his teammate to earn the right to play in the final round. Not much we can say. Like, anybody who's watching this podcast knows how good of an event that was.
It was so good. And I'm sorry, we're just having a lot of interference in our mics. That's the cause for the breaks. But the Lakeview Classic, it's the roots of the FGA. It's where the FGA came from. And my goodness, it did not disappoint. Then we moved to the McCall Masters, which, has that ever become Joel Pickering's event or what? How good has Pickering been at McCall?
You'd think that was his home course.
Yeah.
Undefeated there. Do you see it stopping anytime soon? I don't. He just finds it's a new way to win every year. I don't really see how anyone stops him.
And so he's just been so good. And it was him and Caleb Selders, another amateur. And that's another thing for Pickering, winning with an amateur. But Selders was also phenomenal that day. They both were sticking wedges, having multiple birdie looks. They made it really difficult on the team of Connor Thompson and Jonah Brown-Hosian, which they ended up beating 2-1. But also credit to Brown-Hosian and Thompson. Brown-Hosian, that was probably his best. Well, he even improved at Lakeview, but both in McCall and Lakeview, Brown-Hosian took steps forward to become a better player, and we saw that for sure.
I agree. I think the 2018 season was, his head wasn't there.
Yeah.
His head wasn't in it. I think last year his head was in it, and I think he just got bad luck. He didn't run into enough to end up as a champion. So I think that luck turns around as long as his head's back in it again here for 2020.
And the last major we'll go over from 2019, but also another phenomenal major in the 2019 season was the Dragon's Head Invitational. It was Connor Thompson and Cole Medall versus the team of Joel Pickering and Jonah Brown-Hosian. That kicked off the 2019 season. It was a big lead early for Thompson and Medall, but it was Pickering and Brown-Hosian that stormed back and made it an absolute thriller right down to the wire, but Thompson and Medall ended up with the win.
Oh, it was the most back and forth event the FGA has ever seen. In the sense that I saw people kind of heading maybe towards the exits, record crowd.
Yeah, record crowd.
Due to just the length of lead that was seen, a lot of people sticking around saying it's not over till it's over. And we saw potentially the makings of a classic put out just in time by the team of Medall and Thompson. So it's quite the year. I think to finally recap and put 2019 behind us, let's just go through the winners, give them their final dues before we turn the page.
Yeah, and so we'll be very quick here. The Dragon's Head Invitational was Connor Thompson and Cole Medall.
Congratulations, you two.
Congrats, McCall Masters, Joel Pickering, and the amateur Caleb Selders. A huge win.
To you too. Yeah, absolutely.
The Lakeview Classic, the makeshift team of Keith Thompson, the amateur, and Joel Pickering.
Really, really, really solid win.
And then at the Crystal Ridge Open, Connor Thompson in a playoff. So an amazing 2019, year, but we're going to have to move through
the FGA Challenge.
And the FGA Challenge was a team of Joel Pickering, Braden Brown, and Brady Kachur, who again we will have on the show. But what a great event that was as well. But that was a phenomenal 2019 year and a great recap. But we do have a lot to get through, so we're going to pause there on the recap. And coming up next, the interview with Brady Kachur.
The FGA Podcast is brought to you by the Forgettable Golfers Association. The race to the Crocodile Cup begins at the Dragon's Head Invitational on May 16th. Buy your tickets now at the FGA Circuit website.
We are back, and we are very excited to bring in one of the newest members of the Forgettable Golfers Association, the 7th member. Indeed, that is Brady Kachur, who, again, we mentioned, made his debut at the FGA Challenge this past September, and just a terrific individual. Can't wait to hear his thoughts coming up for his rookie season in 2020. So let's bring him in.
Really, really messed up. 7 days of poetry, 7 days of bitter, and my girlfriend went and cheated on me. She's a California dad, and it's time for me to quit her. La, 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 whatever. La, 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 it doesn't matter. La, 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 oh well. La, 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 going at it tonight.
Who's going to get your hair?
Oh, thank you. Great. How have you been?
Welcome to the podcast, Brady Kachur. How does it feel to be a member of the FGA? In what was it, December 29th was the day that you officially became a member, December 28th, one of those.
Yeah.
How does it feel now to be part officially of the FGA?
It feels pretty surreal, honestly, to be such a new member of the FGA, and I'm actually so excited to be here. Mm-hmm. And your dick.
Yes, I know. I'm Skeet.
You're Richard. Okay.
Thought he called me a dick there for a second, folks. A mix-up of sorts.
I know it's
family-friendly podcast.
Okay. Thanks.
Sickening, really. Like you just said.
Anyways,
off to a great start here, Brady.
What was the question?
Right, let's get back on the right page here. Where were you on this time last year, this time 2019, where was the FGA on your radar? As you're trying to work your way into position to actually play as an amateur on this course, this circuit?
Well, last year, I was in the range and I was, hitting bombs, right, Skeet?
Yeah. I've seen him play, and yes, this guy can hit absolute bombs when he wants to, but you really have trouble keeping it in play. Thoughts? That's just my scouting report.
I don't know where you
Jeez Louise. We're sorry, folks, about his foul language. This is a guy that's passionate about the game. It's good to see. It grows the game. It grows the FGA. Brady, before we get into the golfing nitty gritty, tell us, the fans a little more about you as a person. Hobbies, favorite sports teams, what you like to do away from the course, any fetishes, those types of things.
I went to U of A with actually two of the members, Connor Thompson and Joel Pickering.
Okay.
Great guys. Joel Pickering, great guy. Connor, and hit or miss with some people, but
Crocodile Cup champions, though, both of them.
Anyway.
We do have a studio audience today as the podcast continues to grow. It's very exciting for Dick and I as well to see that growth. But yeah, sorry, Brady, keep going.
Anyways, big hockey fan, hockey player, doing my CFA
Oh, wow.
right now.
It's very impressive.
I work at
Becoming an accountant.
No.
You
it's
do my
CPA.
taxes?
Sorry, I'm very comfortable right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
We apologize.
Apologize. Is there anything I could do? Maybe get you another beer?
Yeah, please.
That's what we like to do here on the FGA Podcast. We enjoy beverages and enjoy them in
I don't want
plenty. So moving on,
all we have.
Brady, it is and Bud Light Lime, the official drink of the FGA. So go out and buy some Bud Light Lime.
But not like totally official. We have not yet
Sign that contract.
signed that contract, but we are hoping that if we say it more, then they will approach us.
And there's no reason to believe that won't happen. So Brady, you participated in the inaugural FGA Challenge in September. Talk
Yes.
about that experience. You were on a team with Braden Brown and Joel Pickering. You guys were victorious that day at Darcy Ranch. Just explain that experience to us.
It was a great experience. I had a lot of talent on our team, especially Brady Brown, former NCAA Division golfer. If you guys have ever mentioned your fans yet, good guy. I think he only played a year, but
Well, let's.
But hang on, I'm not done. Hang on. But I want to give a shout out to Cole Mittal for
The first one was
for
fine.
missing that putt. Thank
Yeah,
you.
boy,
Thank
we
you.
haven't discussed that, and it's kind of a dark spot for the FGA. In that FGA Challenge, Cole Mittal had a 3-inch putt to extend the match, and unfortunately, he limped out, which I thought was impossible to do from 3 inches away, but he did it, and that was it.
I hear I have a few sources within the FGA's media department, and I hear that their planned series Roars of the Reservoir will partially encapsulate what happened on that fateful day. So
Yeah, that was wild. That was absolutely wild. But great to hear that you had a great experience, Brady. And so I'm sure you have a couple questions.
yeah, I'd like to know what your style of game. What's going to be your driving factor towards winning events? And note that winning events takes two. So what do you bring to the table that will work so greatly in tandem with others, especially on this short circuit?
The good thing with the FGA is that it's a team sport, and I'm really good off the tee. I got lots of length on the tee, but short game I'm working on. But I think I can bring that factor, which is length off the tee, and I think that that'll really help me and my team member be able to win tournaments and
As a
win
follow-up
trophies.
to that story, on a course like Dragon's Head, where the average length of the hole is 73 yards,
I did not know that.
what do you bring to that?
Length off the tee, not very important here, Brady.
Actually, could be detrimental.
Could be hurtful, if anything. There you have it. Stuck. Brady Kachur, speechless with those great questions from Richard Longenhard and Skeet Jericho. But Brady, we love you. You head into your rookie season in 2020. What are your goals and expectations moving forward?
Well, I want to become a better player, and I want to knock off the previous champion, Joel Pickering. And, I think that I have the tools and the capabilities to do that.
I won't disagree with you there.
Yeah, aiming right for the top. We like to see that. We like to see that drive, and it's we do expect big things from you this year, Brady, for sure, here on the FGA podcast.
And you will see those big things.
I think we're going to move into our next segment, but as a bridge to that almost, which 2020 is our focus for this last segment. As a bridge to that, and while still involving Brady here, I think that I will ask yourself and myself, and then finally yourself. We'll go down the line here, but expectation for how many majors and events won this year for Brady Kachur?
I don't think he's going to win Dragon's Head. That's, of course, I think experience is worth everything. I think the same goes for McCall. I think we'll see Brady really take off in the second half. I think he has a great shot at Lakeview, and I think he has a really good shot at Crystal Ridge. I'm going to say Brady Kachur wins 2 majors this year in the back half of the season.
I was going to go down a similar route. I'll change it up for the podcast sake. I will concur with you that I do believe Brady Kachur is very primed to take a run at the Lakeview Classic, which is extraordinary for a first-timer at that event. And I will say that he wins 2, he wins Lakeview, and he wins Dragon's Head.
Wow, so you think he can win it with that lack of experience?
I think
it's a grind.
I think it is. I think what's gonna end up being the difference is that Brady Kachur, inexperienced on the course, but that freshness, that inexperience will almost play well because he won't be afraid of certain shots. That combined with, I think that he's going to end up with a very experienced partner there who knows the course well, who knows when to reel it back in and when to let Brady run. So I think for yourself, I think those are your 2 events that I think that you have the best shots at. I think you got a good shot at all of them, but with the competition the way it is, we know that it's going to be a grind every event, and we're expecting at least 6 per event this year.
Yeah, what we're seeing is just the expansion of the FGA. It's so much fun to watch, and this is really an association that is becoming so elite, and you see people wanting to get in all the time, and the demand is phenomenal, but the people, I know that the members that they currently have, the FGA is very happy with, so we'll see how they continue that expansion. But Brady, then, for you look at the majors, the 4 majors, which ones do you think you have the best chance of winning?
We'll ask, because I think his answer will be all of them. But I'll ask you to rank them. Which one do you think you have the best potential of winning, and which one do you think you're gonna have to work the hardest?
Well, I think that I have the best chance at winning Crystal Ridge.
Length off the tee.
Yeah, length off the tee, and then whatever that par 3 one's called, which slipped my mind. Whatever.
You're kind of like Brooks Koepka. You're kind of like Brooks Koepka.
A lot of Brooks Koepka.
There's a lot of Brooks Koepka in you. Yeah, you have the same small arms. You have the thought process of, you know what, I don't really care. I'm just out there to win golf tournaments regardless where I am. And look at how effective that's been for Koepka on the poor man's FGA. So keep going.
We'll see how effective it is for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Freezing Cold Takes is taking note of this podcast and making sure that they're going to hold you accountable to this cockiness. But can't wait to see where that goes, folks. Brady Kachur, thank you again for joining us. But I guess you want to do our 2020 predictions
Let's
quickly?
just move straight into them.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start with Dragon's Head. First major of the year in May 16th has been scheduled. Looking like it's going to be a field of 8 people, which is the biggest field in FGA history by far. It's going to be a grind. That's 3 hours of real intense golf. It's a major championship, for Christ's sake. So, if I'm going to pick one player who I think is going to be very successful there this year, boy, that's tough. I'm going to go, you know what? I think Jonah Brown-Hosian. I think he's going to break that 1,000-day winless streak that's been so well publicized. He's been horrible in those 1,000 days. As bad as you could possibly be on a golf course.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know why he doesn't quit.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's a 3-time major champion. The guy knows how to win, so it's been a tough stretch.
So,
I'm going to pick him for
here's where I'll agree with. I think I'm going to have to completely agree with you. I mean, you want to know why? It's because look at the putting we saw from Mr. Brown-Hosian last year. That's where he excelled. Putts of 30 feet, Are you kidding?
No, he was elite. Absolutely elite.
We know in Dragon's Head with how short the course is, putting is essential.
Yeah,
Needed.
it's massive and tough greens, and so we'll see what goes on for that. Let's move to McCall. I'm going to go against the grain. I know Joel Pickering's won the last 3 green jackets with different teammates through the years. He won with Jonah, he won with Connor, he won with Caleb Selders, an amateur last year. I'm going to say this year that Braden Brown is going to win. I know that he's not right now officially a member, but I can see Braden Brown just donning that green jacket. Call it a gut feel, but I think I can see him doing it.
McCall?
Yeah. Are you not listening to me?
No, I just...
Richard.
He's down there. Yeah, thank you.
Have a lot of staff working for us nowadays, so...
Here's the thing. With McCall, the issue being, we've gotten very lucky with weather the last 2 years, being able to just avoid it. I don't think that carries on this year. I think that we're heading ourselves into a rain delay. So in my mind, or some form of delay, and in my mind, I have to think who is going to be best equipped to survive that.
Yeah.
Who? I can't.
That's what we're asking. Yeah.
I think an amateur. I think an amateur, and I'm not sure what the listing is right now. It's changing every day, but I think that an amateur is going to carry the freight, some would say, to a win. And I think I'll leave it at that. I think that it's well publicized that Pickering's coming into this event with an unsustainable winning record. He's the easy choice just because he's never lost there. But I'll say an amateur paired with. Let's go with Pickering.
Sure, but we always debate, and I just want to finish off McCall with this. We always debate, who's the best looking in that major. It's not Pickering. I'll tell you that right now. I do not believe Joel Pickering is the best looking player in that major. I'm talking looks. I'm going to looks.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. So
seems like you have some strong feelings about Pickering's looks then. Let's move
it
to the
seems like you have stronger feelings about Pickering's looks.
Let's move to Lakeview Classic, the roots of the FGA, where they compete for the Reservoir Cup, the most prestigious major on the FGA circuit. As I said before, I think this is the time that Brady Kachur breaks through and gets his first major championship.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be an absolute grind for him. He needs to become in focused. He needs to come in focused. He needs to be able to score from the get-go.
Absolutely.
Because as we've seen in the past, that if you don't score enough in the get-go, it ain't gonna happen.
No.
There's enough scoring around 6, 7, 8 that if you don't get enough of a lead there, you're never gonna pick it up. So I'll agree completely.
All right. Well then, last but not least, the end of the race for the Crocodile Cup at the Crystal Ridge Golf Course in Okotoks, Alberta. Last year, of course, the playoff between Pickering and Thompson was just great drama, great TV for the fans. Record 28 million people viewed that event, and I'm sure that those numbers will continue to rise. But
they're still getting in reporting precincts.
So it's pretty darn cool for the FGA. But I'm gonna say I think Connor Thompson goes back to back. I think he's really starting to figure out that golf course, and there's I think some anger about him as well for not winning the Crocodile Cup last year, even though he won 2 majors. I think he's a little pissed off that he wasn't able to get it done last year at the pinnacle of golf, which is the Crocodile Cup. What are your thoughts, Dick?
No, I know for a fact that he was very upset with himself for not being able to take home it for the 3rd time. But at the end of the day, it worked out for the better. We need to see further competition within the FGA, and we did. Crystal Ridge, I say Braden Brown's going to win Crystal Ridge.
Okay, interesting.
I think that, and that's obviously pending his involvement, his participation, and on the third front, he's only guaranteed or semi-guaranteed a spot due to membership, which we know, we've heard rumors, but we're not quite sure if that's going to be confirmed, and we won't know obviously until the FGA officially releases it. They're very, very tightly lipped. So, but that's my prediction pending that, which our sources, of course, point towards that. We know that the co-commissioners are looking to expand membership. So I'll go with Brady Brown. And for Crocodile Cup, that would leave me with 4 different winners. But overall participation and partnership, Crocodile Cup, I think I will go with Jordan Brandhosian. Think his
No,
win early
no,
in the year.
no,
Dragon's
just
Den?
no. I'm going to stop you right there. No way. There's no way he wins that Crocodile Cup. Not a chance.
Well, that's a good thing. This is an opinion show.
Yeah. Well, it pissed me off actually
really
that
good
day
thing.
because he is not close. He's not close to winning that Crocodile Cup. Richard,
We'll see. We'll see.
I guess we will.
We'll see.
For me, I like why you didn't
No,
pick him there.
you know when you get on your high horse.
I'm going to go with. I believe that Cole McDowell's going to come back after that the 1 inch putt that he missed in the FGA Challenge, the pathetic putt that he missed to force a playoff there. He's going to be really motivated. He's going to want revenge. He's going to go on the Cole McDowell revenge tour. That's what I'm going to.
Just
trademark
idiotic.
it.
Just not.
Cole McDowell,
smart.
2020 Crocodile Cup.
Just not
champ.
smart.
You heard it here first,
You
folks.
see him miss a 1 inch putt. How do you think he's going to handle the rigors of almost winning a Crocodile Cup?
He's got a great
No,
body.
there's
He's got
no
a great
way.
body. He's got a swimmer's
Well,
body.
okay, yes, I understand that. The swimmer's body. He's got the swimmer's body. Does he have the golfer's body?
If he hits a bad shot, just lift up the shirt. There's a six pack.
Doesn't matter. The shot's still going left.
Well, guess we'll disagree on that. You're wrong.
You're going to disagree the shot's not going
You're
left?
wrong. You're just wrong, and you know that.
You're going to disagree the shot's not going left.
This is sickening. I didn't want to end the podcast this way, but we're going to have to.
I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated.
You're damn right. I'm frustrated too.
It's a lead
I really
year.
am.
You know what that does to me.
Why are you? Okay. Well, folks, thank you again for tuning in to another FGA podcast. It was a great podcast. We had some great predictions, a great interview with you, Brady. Once again, good luck in your rookie season in 2020. We can't wait to see you out there competing in the FGA. And well, that's it for me. Anything left for you, Dick?
And that's all I have. I'm just very excited to get this season underway because this will be the best season yet. They just keep getting better, folks.
That's it for us, folks. Take care, and we will see you next time on the FGA podcast. What's playing for us here? Oh, there we go. So, that was a good podcast.
That was recording.
It was.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic.
I really appreciate you taking your input today.
I thought the opinion was good.